The Phantom Toll Booth, your gateway to music and more from a Christian perspective, presents press conferences from the only Christian music festival that really matters, the Cornerstone Festival 2012. Sit back, relax, and you will hear from some of the most fascinating, intriguing, and sometimes controversial musicians, authors, and organizations around. Tollbooth.org. Slow down and have your change ready.
Thanks once again for joining us, ladies and gentlemen, at the Phantom Toll Booth Cornerstone 2012 press tent. Joining us this afternoon is Tobin from Flatfoot 56 with your moderator, Linda LaFianza. Thanks for joining us, Tobin.
My pleasure. My pleasure. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it. Thanks for coming, you guys. It's awesome to see you.
Yeah, this is great that you're here. We're all here. And welcome. Yeah. So, why don't you tell us what the sound for your band? What does your band sound like?
We're a Celtic punk band, traditional instrumentation with Celtic rooted elements as well. So basically, you have a four-piece band with bagpipes and mandolin mixed into it, bringing some very, very jovial and fun elements to an already crazy style. So that's what I would say, Celtic punk.
Celtic punk, right. Mm-hmm. When you say traditional instrumentation, that's traditional punk instrumentation.
Well, traditional like mandolin, bagpipes, things like that. You know, sometimes we actually had, on our newest record, we had a cello player come in and do some stuff. Actually, he's right there. He's walking by as we speak. That is awesome.
What's his name? Let's bring him in here. How about a shout out?
What's up, man? Hey, you want to come up here and do this interview with me? This guy was on the record, and he was just randomly walking by. He came in and he did some. Come on, have a seat.
Sit up. We'll give you a Tootsie Roll.
He was there for an hour, but he completely revamped some songs, and his brother totally blessed us, and that's awesome, man.
Yeah, I haven't seen you. I don't have my cello here. It's actually broken.
Oh no, that's
so
no good.
I was never able to connect with you about. I definitely can't play it tonight.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
It's good to see you, though, man.
Being a traditional press conference, I do want to ask you close to the mics when you speak, so we can record this, and we have some other bleed through from other places.
Sure.
Other traditional places. Yeah. So, okay, Celtic punk rock, and then there's your fans. You've got some pretty special fans. Why don't you tell us, what do you call it? It's the Oi group? What do you call it?
The Ollie Mob. It's
yeah.
We started it years ago. It was off of a song called Ollie Ollie that we created that was pretty cool. And I don't know, our kids, we decided to make some shirts up, and we get fans that were kind of crazy and would always come out to shows, and we'd always ask them and say, hey, we're going to create this street team, and you guys may be part of it. And the organization of it has not been what I wished it would be, but it's a lot going on when you do a lot of stuff yourself. So it's eventually, hopefully, it'll take off, and just waiting for somebody to kind of take it and make it their own, you know. So.
Well, if we're not packing for Cornerstone, maybe they'll have more time for that.
Yeah.
I was thinking it was sort of like some of the cheering sessions at soccer matches for the teams. Like the
exactly.
Timbers.
That's a good idea. We actually just did a song for the Chicago Fire. We wrote a song for them recently, and we'll see if they're going to use it. But our cheering section is Section 8 in Chicago, and they definitely get crazy. So, but yeah, very much so. It's very kind of much that rowdy, chant screaming, flag waving, lunatic, oriented without being violent type of people, you know. So.
I'm glad you made a special designation for them as opposed to the average fan, right?
Well, I don't know. Yeah, no, they're definitely fanatical. I mean, a lot of bands make comments about Flatfoot fans. They're just like, man, you guys have some really committed fans. They're awesome, and we're really thankful for them. I mean, not a lot of bands get a chance to have that kind of connection with people. So.
And talk to us about your band activity these days as far as appearances. And
we're currently actually on a tour. We're taking a week off from the tour. We're out with a band called The Casualties and Necromantics. They're bands that have been playing punk rock for years in the secular scene, and we're the only Christian band on the tour. There's about six bands on the tour, and I think it's the first time any of these bands have ever toured or outside of us played with any Christian bands. So it's definitely been a neat experience and a neat thing to see. So.
And how many dates?
We're going for that for a month. So we've done 3 dates already, and we're ending that on August 5th. We just came from California. We flew out there for 3 dates and then came back for Cornerstone because we were like, we're not missing the last year. There's no way. We can't do that. So it's
And at this point, you're touring. You're doing that kind of touring every summer, aren't you?
Yeah. We have a new record that just came out 2 weeks ago, and so it's definitely water. You got enough, Joey?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're just, doing our thing, and with new records come new opportunities to tour and things like that. So, like I said before, this guy helped us on cello. He lives up in Chapuza, and we were like, man, we need a cello player, and I know where to go. And he gladly came in and helped us put some cello on that new record. He's on 2 songs, right? Two songs.
I think it was 2.
Yeah. A song called "Terrorizing Truth," and then he did some stuff on the actual song "Toil," I believe, which really made the songs awesome. I was like, yeah, it's great. No, it was really cool. So.
Okay, so as a cellist, what's it like working with a Celtic punk rock outfit in the studio?
I mean, it was a lot of fun. The song was, pretty much done by the time I was there.
Yeah.
So, there was already like a choir part.
Oh, yeah.
Sort of on one of them. It was
a
crazy.
choir.
Yeah, lots of. At least like a bunch of voices.
Yeah.
Choir is quite the right.
My wife is she's the only white girl in an all-black gospel choir, and I was like, man, I gotta get some people from your choir, and and they're awesome people. I've seen them perform so many times, and being from the South Side, there's a lot of opportunities, and she's just like, I want to sing, and I want to step outside of my cultural zone, and my wife's one of those people that loves to challenge the norms, and so she joined this choir, and it's an awesome thing. It's really we've been able to really build a lot of awesome communication and relationships with people in our city through that. So I had some of them come in, and actually our city release show, a few of them came out, and they one of them is one of these guys, Robert. He's a crazy awesome tambourine player, and he just got up on stage and destroyed his hand, like just like in the little punk show, 400 kids just destroying this room, and it was awesome. So it was really cool. So, and then Marin, who actually is playing Cornerstone, she came into the record and did some stuff for the record. She's in the choir as well. So very, very cool stuff. Very, very fun.
Okay, you've got chalice, choir, gospel. Are people going to recognize this as a Flatfoot 56 project?
Very much so. Yeah.
It's bagpipes, right?
Yeah, there's still bagpipes. Still rowdy music. It's definitely. We wanted to step out. It's the first record we've ever done in our home city, and because we knew this guy, because we knew a bunch of other guys that were on the record, we have a stand-up bass player from a band called Deals Gone Bad that came in and did some stand-up for it. Different members. So we were able to pick from friends of ours that we knew played their instruments amazingly and could really add to the record. And I'm a big fan of using instrumentation that's not normal. So I wanted to get the throat singer from The Crossing to come in, but I think he was busy at the time, and we were trying to figure out the part. But just get some crazy stuff and step out and be creative. The way that I believe Christians should be is step out of the norm and use the gifts God's given us to do.
Well, what do you mean step out of the norm? Why should Christians step out of the norm in their comfort zone? What are you talking about?
Wasn't that what Cornerstone's all about? I think the biggest thing that we find, and I see this a lot, is rather than being the head, the church finds itself the head in our culture. We find ourselves to be the tail of our culture. Christian music has a tendency to be 5 years behind the norm consistently when it comes to what we're playing, the creative nature of what we have. And I think one thing I've always loved about Cornerstone especially is that it's a festival that does not make that its priority. It makes it its priority to go out there and find the musicians that are way outside of the norm. And I think because God's given us a gift, we need to be the people that go out and share with the world that, hey, God's given you a gift too. Whether you're using it for God's glory or not, the gift is from God, and identify that in people. Sometimes we want to put them in our box, and rather than put them in our box, I think it's important to say, you know what? The gift that you have has been given to you for a reason. It's not a result of evolution. It's not a result of, sorry, but monkeys can't play any music. They don't know how to sing, you know? Like, where does that come from? You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't just happen. And so, because that God's given us a gift, all of us a gift, and to identify that gift that we've been created with is important. It's part of our testimony as believers, and I think to only keep it within the confines of Christian music is very limiting to our God. It's a limiting to the gift that God's given us, and it's good to edify the body. It's good to encourage, to worship, but to have a festival like Cornerstone, where we have more secular fans that ask us about that crazy festival they see videos about. They don't say that about any other festivals. They say that about Cornerstone. They see this video of us playing main stage with the wall of death that happened there, and they say, what is happening? Like, where is this, and how can I be a part of it? And because of that, it's really sad to see it go this year, but we've been really blessed to be a part of it. And we'll do it all in heaven again. You know, it's going to be awesome. So.
Wow, yes it will. Indeed, absolutely. Well, thank you. We've been asking people their thoughts on memories of Cornerstone, and which you've sort of done. Do you have any particular memory, perhaps, as a band?
I actually just shared this with Cornerstone, the Cornerstone website interview. But one of the more spiritual memories I have is just going after the Fat Calf every week, which is a tent we used to basically set up every week and run with my dad. It's generator stage. And we weren't the first, but we just kind of just did it in a new way a little bit, I think. Not saying that nobody else did it before. There was a lot of great people working, but we'd have services every morning. At the end of the week, go down and baptize people in the lake. And last year we were able to see two friends of ours get married after our set, you know, and just like, you know, our lives are in the soil here, you know, and there's so many, like, there's blood, sweat, and tears in the grounds here, you know, that we've all been a part of, and it's awesome, you know, it's really cool. I think we had a friend named Big Bob. I don't know how many of you guys remember Big Bob, but I know Brian, you remember Big Bob, and he sorry, a few years ago he passed away, and I remember him driving his golf cart into the middle of a circle pit and running kids down at the Flat Calf, and being a part of that guy's life and meeting him here, it was like awesome. So when he died, all the punk bands were at his funeral, and we all were a part of. Thanks, man. Crying in interviews. So just I didn't even think about that story until right now, but just there's another story of watching the Blackjacks in 2001 at the Underground, and all their fans collected all the garbage they could find, and before the set happened, everyone just started chucking it at them, and it became a big garbage fight, and it was a show that changed my life. I don't know why. I was like, God, your people are insane, you know, like why in the world would you this is awesome, you know, and getting to meet Billy Bones from that band later on, and having him tell me, he's like, yeah, man, every time you get a band that's doing really well, you know, what you just gotta do is quit. I'm just like, what? He's like, yeah, you get yourself together and you quit and you become legends, man. That's what it's all about. And I'm like, no, that stinks, you know. I hate that, you know. Keep playing, you know. Anyway, but I think just being here, like, it's the body of Christ, man. We all smell the same. We all stink the same. We all sweat the same. The only people that don't are the hierarchy that decide to go into town and get a hotel during the week. You know, it's like, which you know who you are, FBS. I give them a hard time, but I think one of my favorite memories, and I'll go on all day if you want me to, but playing punk rock baseball years ago was a tradition that we used to do, we'd grab everybody who was willing to try, and we'd go into town and scare the locals in Bushnell with all those mohawks and crazy hair, and we'd go in and we tried to play hardball for a day, and we did that for about 3 or 4 years straight, and it was just like, it's my family, you know, it's what it's all about. And so I hope that people still, there's been some talk this week of people saying, hey, we're going to go to the grounds next year, whether there's a festival or not, and we're going to camp. Hope they do that. You know, that'd be awesome. Generator, stage it up, you know, bring your own porta johns. And,
What are the woods for?
yeah, man, let's go old school. It's people use the bathroom in the woods for years before porta johns were invented. So, sorry, it went that way. It went there. But
You can blame me if you want. That was my idea.
So we've been really blessed to be a part of this, and to see Squad 5-0 play last night was awesome. It was like singing songs were a really big part of my childhood, you know, and having them play the songs that they refused to play a few years ago. There's Kyle. Kyle, our bass player, is here. He's gonna come up and join me in this. I had Joby join us. Hey, you just hang out, man, because he was in the record, and I'm like, hey, he played with us, you know. So, yeah, just those memories were amazing. I'm sure Kyle can tell you stories of blowing up Porto Johns with Brian Hanover years ago and stuff like that too. Yeah. But we're talking about Cornerstone.
I'm sorry, I thought this was at 3, so I was kind of roaming around actually.
You have any good Cornerstone memories?
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, old bands that we used to listen to, like the Hanover Saints and the Deal, and just to realize how immature they were, and just hanging out with them and just being really stupid around the campgrounds, and having just a lot of fun. I don't know. There's been some really legendary shows for Flatfoot mostly. I mean, there's been some ones that we've got to partake in that were amazing, but definitely some of the most epic moments at the underground, but a lot of at Generator shows and the old Fat Calf. Those shows are the most, by far, you know, some of our favorite. Thank you so much. That's awesome.
I think remember one of the first years we played. There was a guy named Andrejek who was from California. He's he's an amazing artist, but he was running the stage at Underground, and he jumped off the stage but I think he broke his rotator cuff or
I think it was his collarbone.
Collarbone, yeah. And he went into town, got casted up. His arm was up like this, and then he came to our show the next day at the Fat Calf and jumped off the stage with his arm in a cast. You know, it was like the whole Rookie of the Year cast. You know, just like that. And he was back in the pit the next day, and just seeing all that, you know, seeing Me Without You play the Generator circuit before anybody knew who they were, seeing As I Lay Dying play the Fat Calf stage.
Yeah, they were super awesome. That band, a lot of respect from us, because they played right before they signed to Metal Blade and became absolutely huge before that Final Collapse record. They all came up to us and handed us all free records, and we're so grateful to play this Generator stage, and they used all of our back line. They're super grateful. I think they were the only band that actually thanked us that entire day for using our back line. So I was like, that means a lot. So, but
Okay,
these Tootsie Rolls are delicious.
good.
They make these in our neighborhood, by the way.
Yeah, right.
We live right next to the Tootsie Roll factory, little tidbit on Flatfoot.
Made in America.
Made in America.
Wow.
Eat Tootsie Rolls.
Imagine
Yeah.
All right. I've known you guys since before you were a band and whatnot. But what turned my head was when I'm walking around the grounds one year and people were wearing cardboard shark pieces. They had fins on their head and giant teeth and really weird stuff.
Yeah.
And
They're crazy.
Came by to
I don't
see the
understand.
guys, and everyone knew it was Shark Week for Flatfoot 56.
Yeah.
How do you come up with your themes? And what is this year's theme? Tell us all again. And how do you tell people ahead of time so they can prepare? You give them homework.
We do a terrible job at it, actually, and it's mostly people at Cornerstone that make it what it is for the most part. I think generally we only announce it a couple weeks, maybe a month before, and word gets around, which is awesome. And I think that can only really happen at Cornerstone. And we think about it all year round, and usually we come up with like 7 ideas, and we narrow them down to one. But
well, I think it's a lot of it's based off of what we can dress Kyle's roommate John Pratt, the barber, up in, and that would be the funniest. You know, he's come out as Ariel, the mermaid. He's come out as
It's always a
last year
female
was
of some
Lady
sort.
Gaga. This year is another special one. He's this big Southsider dude that we can just. He'll do anything. He's fun and he's great. He's a good dude, and I think the first time we ever did that was with Skip from OCD. He came out as Dee Schneider from Twisted Sister, and he sang the worst rendition of "We're Not Gonna Take It" I've ever heard in my life.
He choked on a chicken bone.
Yeah,
parts of the chicken.
he had one of those
when he
big
was
turkey
singing it.
legs that they sell at Cornerstone. And he choked in the middle of the song. And he's like, you know. But anyway, yeah.
That will hurt.
I think. What's the question?
Kids always made
Oh,
it,
yeah.
for sure. And Shark Week, I think, was the best one because I think that was like the only that was the only show I think of Cornerstone where I literally was completely content. Like before we even played, what happened and how involved people were. Kids like stage diving. He was like a full shark, and he was crowd surfing over the entire. He covered the entire tent, and he was a shark. And I was like, "It's done. You know, we can walk off stage, and this is our mission is accomplished. We don't have to play because this is amazing. You know." And I think that year was the most. It seemed like that was a really good year, and that was cool because we had the worst. We felt like we played the worst, and it was like the worst setup for us. It was just terrible. We felt it was terrible, but the kids were like, they were on it, and they made that year what it was for sure.
So you've gone back to the water for this year's theme?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
it's picked
cool
a good
and
one for this year.
refreshing.
Man. This is
and-
horrible.
Yeah.
This weather is awful. You know, it'll be great.
What's the theme?
Pool party. Pool party's the theme this year. Honestly, we were running out of ideas. Not that this year was the bottom of the barrel at all, but like after last year, I don't know anything short of walking out with a huge brain on my head and coming out in dyed men's underwear as a superhero,
And there was-
supervillain costume.
there was only
I don't
one
know what
li-
else I
yeah.
could do to top that. So we'll see how tonight goes, and obviously.
And you're not going to reveal any secrets.
Come, just do me a favor. Don't throw water balloons at the stage because it'll get shut down. But other than that, like, get ready to get wet, definitely.
All right.
So I think it's going to be awesome. We'll have a lot. We have a pool slide that we're putting on stage.
Nice.
We have a lifeguard tower. We are unleashing another intro track that we did another new one that we created. So
Okay, well, that's enough. No more
yeah,
secrets.
yeah,
We're
no,
gonna-
it's
we're
just-
gonna
it's
say
okay.
goodbye.
and everything out.
we're waiting to see what you guys are going to do. That's what's going to.
As we end, we do want you to sign our artist roster back there across the room, and we want to thank you
pleasure.
so much. Sorry about the communication problems.
Oh,
As,
it's great.
as always, Flatfoot 56 has
Yeah.
come through, so thank you.
Thank you
They
for
never
coming.
let us down, that's for sure. Thanks so much for joining us, guys. Flatfoot 56, they're playing at midnight on the underground stage. And like Tobin said, the theme is pool party, so come with your swimming trunks and bikinis and whatever else you might decide to wear. I'll wear my bikini.
Thanks for stopping by the Phantom Toll Booth on YouTube. Before you go, make sure you visit our website and browse around our album, movie, concert, and book reviews, the latest music news, and our extensive archives dating back 16 years. Bookmark our site, check out our videos and newsfeed. Make room for that shadowy structure on your journey ahead. Tollbooth.org, slow down, and have your change ready.